Hey, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are watching us from. Welcome to the Benjamin Zulu Show on this yet another day. Now, today, just a minute, I want just to persuade you to think a little bit the difference between what you need and what you want, right? What you needed and what you wanted, and more specifically, when it comes to marriage. All right? So many times have I heard women say, this is not the type of man I needed. Okay? This is not the type of man I wanted. But because of the circumstances that Benjamin Zulu has always talked about, they got stuck together. And as a result of getting stuck together, children are born out of that particular confusion. All right? Now, today on this particular show, we are going to talk about what you want, not what you need. Because your needs, most of the time, will make you suffer at the end of the day. And that is exactly what we want you to get out of out by yourself because of the rational decisions you make. Today, we are going to talk about why polygamy is not good for children. Why polygamy is a disaster for children with one Benjamin Zulu. Hey, Benjamin.
Hey, can you repeat our shame in Africa?
Yeah.
We are still debating about polygamy. Mm-hmm. This discussion is not happening in Europe or America.
Yes.
And we clock it under, it's our culture. Poverty can be culture. I told you poverty can be addictive because it relinquishes responsibility. The poor can afford to always complain, economy, this, the other. But the day you say, I know people who are making it in the same economy, and I want to make it. I want to have my financial freedom. Now you stop making excuses. You wake up, you save money. Let me tell you something. Because polygamy thrives a lot where people needed financial support.
Yes.
They get married so that they can be, to be assisted by a wealthier person maybe, to be helped here and there. To earn money is easy. Is to retain money that is hard. Okay? Mm-hmm. Most people will toil and get the pay. But it's how they behave with the pay. I told you that people are only comfortable when they're broke.
Yeah.
When they have no money, they show up for work.
They're very obedient.
When they have no money, they're sober. Good morning. Very humble. The moment they get money, they get temporary insanity. They must blow all of it up, then wake up again. They switch off the phone and disappear. Poverty mindset, I told you, is water level. When you put water in an irregular container, we used to do those experiments in physics.
Yes.
The water will look for its own level.
Exactly.
The level that is equal across. Your mind and money always have a level. Please. Let's bring physics home. I know people do life, they dropped it as soon as they could. You look like a suspect, but some of you had a dream for journalism. I don't need physics. I just need English. So, Haley, let me polish my language. Your mind and your money always are on level.
Yeah.
Please, I want you to swallow this so that you don't begin to think people's financial situation is because of circumstances, the amount of money they are paid, where they're working from, education level, It is mindset that determines money or lack of it. When you have a mindset for wealth, a period can pass when you don't have the money yet, but you're bringing it. It's coming. It's coming. When you have a mindset for wealth, the money will come and stay. When you don't have a mindset for wealth, you win a jackpot of 8 million, you blow it up, or you die out of it. Idiots die out of money, my brother. When you can't handle money, it overwhelms you. You misbehave so badly, you can't even survive it. We had a marathon, won marathon and won millions. But he could not even show up for training.
Yes.
Until the trainer wrote a book later called Running on Empty. He was a runner, but now he's running on empty. Empty of character, empty of mindset, empty of discipline, empty of mind. So today I want to discuss about this embarrassing shame we have to discuss about polygamy because it's still being promoted by our culture. A song is released praising polygamy and it has millions of views in days because it is resonating with people's beliefs. Nyumba dogo mwenzangu nimekuja and all that. And you hear kuja tuongezanishe tujumulishe, you know, and all that. You see men talking about you know, as if it's polygamy was common because children were possessions, and the more the children is like the more the cows. There before, children are seen as possession. They were seen as cows. More children, more wealth. The kukudaga mindset. We still have kings in the south who marry every year. Now, unless they're depending on the state to support so many women. And I wonder, in this age of HIV, how do you control so many women? Imagine. Solomon had 1,000, and I was doing mathematics. A year has 365. If he is having every day, brother, let's say he never has leave. Solomon could not work with once a week or twice a week. That was not practical. Now that you have 1,000 women to deal with, he must do it every day with a very powerful aphrodisiacs. Maybe he was chewing some things, maybe. Now, let's say he was a specialist. No, I was just so
curiosity.
1,000. So he needed 3 years to go cycle, brother, without resting. If he attempted once a week, he would never finish this because there was only 52 in a year.
Yes.
And you have 1,000 to deal with. You need 20 years to come once. To one. I think he had a register tick. I saw you are so I was the tick. And you are. Bible did well not to give us details because it was insanity.
Yes.
It was total insanity. How do you manage? Anyway, in Africa we had that, and it was also there a lot in that Asian communities and all that. But I want to discuss what happens to the children now. You never hear children celebrating that their father married 2 wives.
Yes.
Never. Please. This discussion about polygamy thrives because of selfishness, short-sightedness, male chauvinism. Female women have very low view of themselves. Men have bloated egos. Tradition is patriarchal. The court is ruled by hyenas, and so goats have no rights.
Yeah.
We should not be talking about multiple women for one man. Who is he? Who is he? No problem. I keep asking you. By the time a woman knows her value, she will never be doubled with another for 1 man.
Yes.
It's very annoying to have to discuss such a basic thing. Very annoying. So, the society was saying every woman needs a man, so they better give her to a man, even if he already has another wife. They were coming from what premise? Every woman needs a man. Because women were not working, they needed to be provided for.
Yes.
Women had no identity, nothing. They needed to be given identity by the man. It was patriarchal, oppressive to the woman. That's why we are still behind. Observe societies where women have been, there's freedom, individual freedom. That's where economy is ahead, happy. Yeah. I want you to know that oppressing women has kept those communities behind. Us and everywhere else where women were suppressed, we are behind. Let's accept it early. Women die with their potentials and explode. Yeah. Let me remind you that if all the presidents in the world were women, we would never have had any world war. None. No World War I, no World War II. Perhaps would have had a bunch of countries not talking to each other. Right now they are on a cold season. They're not talking. But that's about it. You know? Yeah. The president of Kenya and the president of Somalia are not in talking terms currently. So that's the news. That's what you'll be hearing. President of US and America, they are not in a... Yeah, we are waiting. Women are not violent. They're not violent. I'm not saying they're always peaceful, but I'm saying the kind of aggression you've had because of male dominance will not be there. Yeah. You don't think so huge armies. Okay. The reason women were suppressed is because men knew their potential, and they needed to use them, so they must keep them blinded. You know how slavery used to work? Slavery would make people stay ignorant, uneducated, and empowered so they can be used. Women were being kept down to be used, sexually and otherwise. Polygamy is oppression of the woman. Make them think they have to bundle a few for one of them. Let me announce to women, you have been born in the right generation, where God has deliberated women to know they don't need men. You only need a husband, a friend, a companion who is yours and yours alone. God created Adam and Eve, not Adam, Eve, and Mary. People tell me, but Father Abraham was polygamous. In every place where Abraham takes another woman, Hagar gets a kid with, where it was the man's idea, not God's idea, and it always resulted in chaos. Underline that. God is a gentleman, he's a father. Some things you insist on, he knows they're not good for you, but he would rather not wrestle with you. If you want to do that, it's okay. God is so secure. I long to meet God, man. I wonder how he is so patient. People are insulting him.
Imagine.
There's no God. And they're using the mouth he gave them to talk. The brain he used them to give them to think. The earth he gave them. Everything he gave them. They even went as far as saying things came from an explosion. This world was created by explosion. They call it Big Bang. There was nothing one day. Then suddenly an explosion happened and everything came. Now, you have to believe that if you are talking about Big Bang, my friend. That Big Bang created everything with the details. The earth and the layers that sieve away harmful rays from the sun, tilted at the right angle and rotating and also turning and revolving. You must believe that somehow. It's like saying you poured milk. Milk fell. And what came out was a detailed map of America. How likely is that? It's insanity, man.
Yes.
God allowed people to marry multiple wives in the Old Testament because as a father, he just wanted you to see it won't help you. There's some things you insist on, God allows them, just knowing you'll have to find yourself that you don't need them. I told you we today insist on things. A certain lady, you're praying and promising God and swearing and instead of studying her to know what really she's made of, you start asking God to convert her. There's a time I was believing God for something, and then the thought occurred on me. Sometimes God talks to me just through a thought, but the thought comes such weight that I can't. There's truth to that. Because I was looking for something, a certain property in a certain area, and I'm believing God for want to find this area, but something occurred. What if it does not exist? God can do everything, but he does not have to do things that are not there. They're not necessary. You have options. Just because God can do everything does not mean you have power to order him. Your prayers are not orders, they are requests.
Yes.
Please, let me correct a few things. It's a conversations, a request between a child and their father. Treat it that way. A father who is very powerful but also very gentle. Powerful but also
Gentle.
There's another fact that should help you know the evolution is madness. Whales in the sea, they produce whales. Whale is the biggest mammal. It produces very large sound. It is louder than a jet, an airplane. When an airplane takes off, it's all loud.
Yes.
Whales are louder. In fact, when you measure on the scale, the jet produces 140. They call it them decibel. There's a way they measure the units of sound. Jet produces a huge. The Boeing, 140. The whale produces 180.
Wow.
If it produces a sound somewhere deep in the sea, would be deafened. Those of us in the coast. But lucky for us, it produces at a lower wavelength than what we hear.
Wow.
Does that sound random?
No,
Is there a designer for that or not?
there is.
Elephants produce very deep sounds that they communicate over kilometers with each other. Elephants. rumblings from their stomach that are they go very far, but they are produced again at a very low frequency that we can't hear. The elephants can hear it. Their ear has a wavelength reception that is very wide. Does that also sound random? No. So when they tell you Big Bang, necessity, why do you swallow it? And it's being taught in class. Why don't you challenge it? Because we didn't know enough as well. There's an awakening, Bramwell, you begin to receive. The more you walk with God, if you show receptivity, if you show friendliness to God, He is so willing to give. He said His secrets are with those who fear Him. To fear means to revere, to hold on high regard. Please. Sometimes English is limiting. Because fear means to dread, to avoid, to run away from, to panic. But it also means to revere. So here King James meant to revere. Those who revere, hold on high regard, highly respect. There's a knowledge, an awakening. It disturbed me so much to see what people are arguing. They all agree, the same philosophers, that cause cannot be greater, effect cannot be greater than the cause. That is to say, what is brought forth cannot be greater than what brought it. All right? So, it's to say, if you are a thinker, whatever created you must be a bigger thinker than you. A brain needed another brain to invent it. DNA is coded in zeros and ones. Zeros and ones is the same language that codes laptops, computers. Zeros and ones is the evidence of intelligence. And it's an accepted fact that intelligence only comes from intelligence. DNA could only have come from intelligence. And they still argue, Big Bang, hey, slow from this, the other. I was just using that to tell you, the reason God is liberating women is because there have been so much oppression of faith. And they say, religion, because Jesus set women free so much. Give them status that people are not even the Bible, at a time when women are not respected. Read Matthew 1. You find about, I think, 3 women who are in the genealogy. And Jews never used to record women. But God is recording Rahab. Funny women, in fact. Rahab, you know the profession thing. God can clean your past and forget about it. Because He can. God delights in saving bad sinners, like chief of sinners, like Paul. He said he was a chief. Some of us are also sub-chiefs. We are not very far in the ranking of sinners. Others were senior chiefs. What do you think would show greatness of God? Is it saving a sinner was only mildly a sinner, or was badly a sinner?
Badly a sinner.
Thank you. Whoever is forgiven more loves more. Some of us remember the party we were on. Hi, brother, can you leave us alone when you see us? When you see us behaving in a way that is abnormal, according to your well put together, you know that people are just polite, and it's like they just agreed with God so that they can just support His cause. They come with an attitude. It's like they just voted for God. Just say, let me support the cause of Christianity. Some of us, it's a matter of life and death. Some of us are like the woman who came and poured fragrance, man. Ointment, man. Expensive perfume. And washed it with her hair. Today we are doing that. He is not here physically. But we are pouring everything we have. Because we remember how much we were forgiven. Gratitude comes from awareness of what you were saved from. T.D. Jakes said, even if there was no heaven, what God is doing for him here is enough. I always say the same. Even if heaven would look like earth, totally. Totally. Still, the first thing God saves me from is myself. Self-destruction. Doing things that destroy you in the end. So we are saying, let's announce to women that God did not ordain for them to serve one man, many of them. Created Adam and Eve, the two of them. In New Testament, He completely abolished polygamy and said one man for one woman. It's ungodly. So the one problem children will get confused if how it is a disaster for them is when they grow and they have another mother, then there's that, then this. You cannot quite preach the gospel to them. You convince them about how God created the world to operate. The second thing that is disaster is the acrimony, the hatred, the conflict, the strife. This is so rampant in courts, in media today, the killings, the hatred, the fight. There is no fierce family feuds than polygamy. How many properties are frozen today? And years have gone by. Have you passed through a place that is so developed, there is one property that is neglected, and you'd say this doesn't add up?
Yeah.
The owner should be making some money out of it. But it is overgrown with the grass and maybe fenced and nobody can touch it, or it has become a dump site for people or anything because there is a court case on it. First wife did, this one did, these children this, did children this. How many people have died and been held in mortuary for so long? Every place where there was polygamy in the Bible, there was strife. And the man was at the center of it. Bro, if you love your life, deal with one woman. The reason you are peaceful now, the reason I'm peaceful, because I don't have two women to deal with. When you have two, they always think when you're not with that, you are with the other one. They can't imagine you at work. Now you have to be pulled. Jacob coming this one, this one. So now you're being given mandrakes, now you sleep. Now. You can't even have peace. The competition is very destructive. Brother, for your peace, for where you are going in life, for what you need, it's very important to make sure. It's very important to make sure that you're dealing with one woman. So how it confuses children, the strife between them. Even if the women somehow suppress it and manage to live somehow peacefully, the children, the competition for what the man had. And some men marry many women and even put them in one compound, and themselves have no money. The women still have to hustle for themselves.
It happens.
In the previous generation, those cultures, and primarily, let me tell you, by the time a woman tells you, I'm here, I'm second wife, or I'm first wife, it's a second one, you always see something missing in her identity. Why don't you believe in yourself enough to stand on your own? Why don't you live a simple life and be alone? Why don't you manage your life and organize the way that people say, but we know women who marry those days, second women and over second wife. Some women, the culture was too pervasive, they had nothing they could do. Yeah. Are we together?
Yeah.
It was like the norm. And they had to make the best with the situation. So today we have women who, looking back those days, they were married, third wife, second wife, something like that, and they went on to be successful. They brought up their children. Many of them had to make do with the situation because it was culturally prevailing. When I meet children today who saw the neglect, who saw the pain, who saw the strife, the struggle, they're confused. They're so scarred and wounded. You have to repair them. The third thing is, in the event that the wife dies, the woman dies, the children are left in the hands of enemies in a world where the only protector has died. Tell women to ask themselves, as I marry as a second wife, what will happen should I die? Life is hard for children when a parent die, even if they were not polygamous. Yeah. Let's agree with that first. If you are me and my wife and for bad chance, one of us dies, the children will experience the loss, the whatever. But because there was no acrimony, the surviving parent can organize their lives. Yeah. And the children will grieve without feeling tortured. They will find a way to survive. There will be grace. But if you were third and they were enemies, now you die and you have left them in the hands of enemies. Those children go through hell. Many of them get scattered. They become street children or they become homeless or they run away to go survive. So their life is so distracted. Many of them never amount to anything. Think as you become second wife. What if I were to die? What would happen to my children? I'm leaving them in the hands of enemies. Yes. The other problem that occurs is witchcraft, superstition. So that diseases, weird, mental illness that was nowhere in the family. And I'm not saying all mental illness is up to schizophrenia and witchcraft, but we have seen what happens. You see unexplainable mental illness. Unexplainable death. Somebody dies for being choked by ugali. Can you imagine? When you hear polygamy, people go to all manner of occult, all manner of black powers, all manner of, underhanded things, or they hire people to attack, or they do this to fight you, to push you to the side, to do this, do the other. The battle you're starting as a woman when you marry as a second wife is unworthy. It's not worth it. When you calculate what you are getting versus surviving on your own. But as I told you, the women who are too lazy to stand on their own. There's another group I did not tell them about. Those women who have already children, maybe one or two, and they're saying, because I may not find anybody who is a bachelor, let me get a second. Now, let's say you are giving your children a stepfather, but you are a second wife. So they have stepfather, step siblings. Think what will happen. You are depending on him, and the man soon dies. Who are these children now? They don't belong to this man. And there are other children, many, who don't belong to you. Many women marry because they had children. But society knows you came with these ones. There are other families that had. The complication you put your children in when they have step-children, step-siblings, step-dad, is that easier than simply surviving on a low budget on your own? Brahma, let's remind women not to come to high-cost city. If they have to survive, don't get married so that you can survive in a high-cost city. Go to a low-cost life. Go up country, for example. Live a simple life and organize yourself from there. Schools are cheaper. Their life is... You can actually farm. It's better to endure a time of inconvenience and you have peace of mind. There's no peace of mind in polygamy. It's like you are signing up battles for life. How much stress, brother, do you have to live on? For life. When you are... Do you know when there's another woman, you always ask what they are talking about you. That is the hardest part. What are they saying about me now? When he's not with you, you wonder, what are they saying? You feel I need to check what they're conversing, what they're saying, what you're being told about me. Any attitude, anything is interpreted as if it's to mean you said something about me. There's no peace in polygamy. There is no... The nature of love is exclusive. Supposed to have one person, one man, one woman, so that I know you are my queen, I'm my king. We are together, we're doing life together, fidelity. There's an own, she was owned by the man, together with the children and the assets. Today, a woman is an individual. She can find a companion whom they belong to each other, like partners. If as a woman you begin to buy this concept of, polygamy is not about, it's about make sure every woman has a man, every man has a man. You don't need to share a man so that you can find identity like a married woman. There's something about the West that I like. They emphasize happiness. If I'm not happy, I leave. I'm not saying we keep divorcing and all that, but we are saying you don't need to stay in a place where you are 2 women, 3 women, conflict, strife, no future, and yet society is telling you to stay here so that you can feel like you have a man. When you have when you have your heavenly father, Bramwell, you can survive without anybody on earth. I come to realize it's fear, timidity, dependency. It's what makes women accept such bad positions in life is lack of faith in their own abilities. A woman who believes that she can survive, she can endure on her own, she can make it in life, she can, strive, she will never agree to such bad arrangements. Even if she can't raise the children, she will leave the children with the man for a period. Okay? So tell women to value their peace of mind, their respect, where they're going in life, what they need, and you don't need constant struggle, constant fight, bickering, and backbiting and gossip. That, if you endure that for 20 years, your body...
A gentleman could actually understand this and take it as weighty as it is. You see? Because we are not second-class human beings.
Exactly.
See?
Exactly.
So why should somebody else treat you that way? Now, Benjamin, now that you've highlighted some of the dangers of polygamy to children, is there any likelihood that these children or some of the children who are already exposed to polygamy now, that they will go through it now that they're exposed to it and then come out through the other end as complete human beings?
No, the people witness discord and chaos. And I said, I want a happier life. You can always decide and rebalance your life through life. I had to learn that you can be happy and unlearn that there must always be chaos and discord and no emotion. As a person, wherever you are born, you could have years learning about dating purely, learning about marriage purely without getting into it. You must acquire the right knowledge. You must want it badly enough. Many people you see today, seated and looking folded. You can see a person whose soul is folded. And they look like they're cringing. It's because there's still a lot of things that are painful and oppressive inside. They've never taken the time to process them, to heal, to be set free. When our Lord said, I came that you may have, joy, to set free the captives. Sometimes the captivity is not just physical slavery. Yeah. It's pain and wound and things that weigh on you. All right? And freedom then means to begin to cut the cords one by one. I'm free. I'm not bound. I'm a woman enough. I deserve the best. I will have happiness. I will have a happy marriage or no marriage at all. If I cannot enjoy it, I don't want to endure it. So I do. Many who end up in polygamous settings started sex. We started this guy when I got a kid in that year university. Stop there. Start by owning the madness. Because she's going that way now, start blaming how he behaved after that. Home to go and watch over cows. He's graduate. Did your father sell cows to educate another cow? No, you're being sent to go to watch over cows. You have a degree. There before, women were married and sent off to a country to go and... Today we are companions. We are doing life together. Brahman, today you need to keep cows. No, you're sending your wife to go look after cows. You must also be a cow. Yeah. It's okay. There's a place where farming is economical. But we do the farming as a family. We see you to employ you to assist. I don't put my wife in charge of animals. Now she has to be tied somewhere far away from me. We are doing life together. Women did not have careers. They were not allowed to develop. Today they have what? Careers. Yeah. They can assist to lift the weight. Brahman, any career you are doing today, make your woman a part of it. So that she can assess you and help you know how you can improve. Please make your woman the most person you converse with, who helps you review your work. Even if you're an accountant in a certain firm, as you tell her the experiences, she can give you ideas. Yeah. She can listen to you. As I told you, she does not need to belong to journalism to tell you about your work. In fact, when she is an outsider, it's a more objective feedback because that's how the outside world is seeing it. Yes. You're not just working for people in media. The majority of your clients are not in media. And she can tell you that was a technical word. Most people don't know it. Try to reduce that. Try this one. Try this one. How about this? It's very important when your woman is, if she comes from the same profession, it's an advantage. She understands it from inside. When she comes from outside, it's an advantage. She knows how people are seeing it. Make your woman a part of your journey. Don't delegate her somewhere down there. So tell children who grew up.
Have it, guys. It zeroes down to an individual. Be intentional in any tennis and all the issues that Benjamin has talked about here. What for? Think about it. Thank you for watching the Benjamin Zulu Show.